We all know about the New York Marathon, but what else is there to run in the Empire State? It's time for another episode of Run the USA. Hello, fellow geeks, and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather, and I am glad you are here because it is time for another episode of Run the USA, where we take a look state by state at the most highly recommended races for each state. So, if you're looking to run a race in your state you didn't know about, or maybe travel elsewhere to run, then you have some ideas of where to start. What I do is I talk to people from different states, I look at race review websites, I look at everything that has been suggested, compile it all together, and I give the information here to you. We cover everything from 5K all the way up to trail and ultra. As usual, links to all of the races are going to be down in the description below if you would like to get more information for yourself. Also, if you've missed any of the other episodes, then we're going to have a link up here and in the description so that you can get caught up on all the states we've covered so far. But today we're moving ahead with the state of New York. We all know about the New York Marathon. In fact, it's one of the world majors. But what else is there to run? Let's talk about that now. We'll start in the 5K category with the Freihofer's Run for Women held in Albany in June. Freihofer's Bakery sponsors the annual Run for Women 5K, one of the world's largest and most prestigious all-female road races. The event takes place in the shadow of the New York State Capitol and City Hall in the heart of downtown Albany. The course features improved access, better parking, a more spacious start, and a gradual downhill finish surrounded by beautiful urban parks, making it one of the most picturesque anywhere. Thousands of women of all ages and abilities will compete alongside many of the country's greatest long-distance runners. In addition to the women's 5K, the weekend events include a health and fitness expo and a kids run series, including the Freihofer's Junior 3K. It's not just a competition, it's a celebration of women, family, fitness, and fun. Come experience the thrill of a lifetime at the Freihofer's Run for Women in Albany. Next is the New York Roadrunners Washington Heights Salsa, Blues, and Shamrocks 5K held in Washington Heights in March. Head uptown and out onto the streets for this exhilarating 5K. Experience the vibrancy of Washington Heights on a course that embraces the spirit of the neighborhood. You will run along Fort Washington Avenue, passing under the George Washington Bridge, loop around Fort Tryon Park, and circle the Met Cloisters at the turnaround point. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just starting out, this 5K offers a unique opportunity to race through the streets of Upper Manhattan. And next we have the JFK Runway Run held in New York City in April. The Run on the Runway race, also known as the JFK Runway Run, has become one of the major fundraisers for the JFK Rotary Club. Funds raised from the race are used to support scholarships, sponsor terminally ill children from countries with limited medical and technological services, for life-saving heart operations at local hospitals through Rotary's Gift of Life program, and to sponsor annual Christmas parties for handicapped children from local schools, which is held in the JetBlue hangar at JFK Airport. The first race was run in April 1972, and until 2000, it was a 10K race which started at the Ramada Plaza JFK Hotel parking lot and to the runway and back to the hotel. In 2002, it was decided to change it to a 5K race. It's a unique race as one of the active runways is actually closed to aircraft landing and taking off for a couple of hours or so. Finishers receive a finisher's medal. Next in our 10K category, we'll start with the Spring Fling 5K and 10K held at Governor's Island in April. Ring in spring with Broadway Cares. The NYC Run's Spring Fling 5K and 10K brings you back to Governor's Island just in time to experience stellar views before the warmer weather crowds roll in. Entry to the Spring Fling 5K and 10K includes a ferry ride, your race entry, a tech shirt, and post-race eats. There's no better way to chase your winter blues away than a run on Governor's Island and a little Broadway, baby. When you register for your race, you'll also have the opportunity to make a donation to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, the philanthropic heart of Broadway, helping ensure those affected by HIV, AIDS, COVID-19, and other life-threatening illnesses nationwide receive medication, healthy meals, counseling, and emergency assistance. And for a truly spooky experience, try the Sleepy Hollow 10K, held in Sleepy Hollow in October. There is no better place to celebrate Halloween. Enjoy a remarkable course that takes you through historic Sleepy Hollow's treasured sites, including a stretch along the Hudson River with views of the Headless Horseman Bridge, Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, and the Old Dutch Church. You never know what might be lurking on the course in Sleepy Hollow. Of course, costumes are strongly encouraged, and stay around afterwards for live music and beer tasting. We also have some 10-mile races on the list, including miles on the Mohawk. held in Schenectady in May. Live, upbeat, energetic, the experienced team at ARE Event Productions go all out for you to create a super awesome, safe, and highly organized experience to cherish. The 10 Mile is a very fast point-to-point course. It begins near Mabie Farm Historic Site in Rotterdam Junction and finishes in Mohawk Harbor. The first mile heads west on Route 5S to connect you with the Erie Canal bike path. The final 9 miles are a straight shot back to Mohawk Harbor on the bike path. Expect an upbeat and energetic experience with live music and announcing, personalized bibs, free race photos, free beer, a full post-race meal, and memories you'll savor. We also have the Bronx 10 Mile held in the Bronx in September. In 1958, New York Roadrunners was founded as the Roadrunners Club New York Association with about 40 members meeting regularly at McCombs Dam Park in the Bronx. Pay homage to the New York Roadrunners founding borough at the New Balance Bronx 10 Mile. The race starts near Yankee Stadium on Grand Concourse and finishes on 161st Street. The Bronx will show up for you and help you boogie all the way through the finish line. Moving up to the half marathon category, we'll start with the Lake Effect Half Marathon held in Manoa in February. The Lake Effect Half Marathon is an annual half marathon held in the village of Manoa starting near Lewis Park on a spectator-friendly flat course. Since there are no other local distance events at this time of year, this is a perfect tune-up race for spring marathons such as the Boston Marathon, Buffalo Marathon, or Ottawa. Great opportunity for New Yorkers to race a half marathon distance without having to drive out of state. Participants receive a long-sleeve tech shirt and finishers receive a finisher's medal. Next is the West Point Fallen Comrades Half Marathon held in West Point in March. The Fallen Comrades Half Marathon held at scenic West Point is dedicated to those members of the Long Gray Line who have gone to war and made the ultimate sacrifice. Each mile marker will memorialize different fallen comrades from all of our nation's wars as a tribute. You can honor them as individuals as you test yourself on this challenging and beautiful course. Celebrate their memory while building camaraderie through friendly competition. Participants in the half marathon run or ruck will get a long-sleeve technical shirt and a medal. Next is the Sleepy Hollow Half Marathon held in Sleepy Hollow in March. Looking for a change of pace? The Sleepy Hollow Half Marathon has the best of fun and scenery. It's the perfect event if you enjoy running for fun or if you're gearing up for a spring marathon. If you're Boston bound, better run here first. The Sleepy Hollow Half Marathon features approximately 5 miles of carriage roads and groomed trails, meaning crushed gravel and dirt, in the Rockefeller State Park Preserve. The 13.1-mile USATF certified course also travels along the Old Croton Aqueduct and, as in past years, winds through picturesque neighborhoods in Sleepy Hollow. The idyllic landscape and scenic views of the Rockefeller State Park Preserve now make up part of the course due to construction and development along sections of the Sleepy Hollow waterfront. Now it's possible for you to race on the same spectacular carriage roads and trails that serve as a training ground for many of the area's top runners. And if the magnificent Hudson River views on the new course don't take your breath away, the hills on the course will. Another highly recommended half marathon is the United Airlines NYC Half held in New York City in March. Experience the bright lights of New York City. This 13.1-mile journey begins in Brooklyn, making its way over the historic Manhattan Bridge and FDR Drive. Runners also get the unique opportunity to run through Times Square, only one of 2 times that it's closed each year, and a finish in Central Park. Next we have the Real Simple Women's Half Marathon held in New York City in April. Join thousands of women from all over the world for the Real Simple Women's Half Marathon. 13.1 miles of fun, fitness, and camaraderie. Every entrant receives a commemorative New Balance race shirt, and every finisher receives a medal. Included with your race entry is a free 1-year digital subscription to Real Simple magazine. Celebrate with friends and family at the Race Day Festival with live bands, fun activities, free samples, exciting raffles, awards ceremony, and more. The Brooklyn Queens Brewery Express Half Marathon is held in Ridgewood in June. The Brooklyn Queens Brewery Express takes you through multiple neighborhoods of Brooklyn and Queens over 13.1 miles and back again. Registration reaches capacity every year, so don't hesitate as there is no waiting list. All registrants receive a custom race singlet. Everyone will receive a custom finisher's medal and custom limited edition pint glass finisher's award. Plus, there's pizza for all racers at the finish. There are raffles for beer, custom growlers, and goodie bags from all the sponsors post-race. Next is the New York Roadrunners Fred Lebow Half Marathon held in New York City in January. This race honors Fred Lebow, the late New York Roadrunners president and New York City Marathon co-founder. Multiple runnings of Central Park's Ted Corbett Loop offer a friendly January challenge or a kickoff to spring marathon training season. Keep a lookout for the life-size bronze sculpture of Fred on East 90th Street. The premium for this race is a New Balance beanie hat. When you run with New York Roadrunners, you do more than compete in a world-class race. Your support and participation play a role in fulfilling their mission to help and inspire people through running and benefit New York's free youth and community programs, including Rising New York Runners, New York Roadrunner Striders, Open Run, and more. And now we have the Shoreline Half Marathon and 5K held in Hamlin in July. Enjoy a beachside half marathon and 5K at one of New York's best state parks. The half marathon is a flat course along the countryside of Hamlin, starting inside the park and finishing along the beach. The 5K is equally as flat and has great views of Lake Ontario via the Lakeside Path. Participants receive a medal, technical tank top, bib, online results, electronic timing, and post-race food. For those of you ready to move up to the full marathon distance, we'll start with the Lake Placid Marathon held in Lake Placid in June. The Lake Placid Marathon is a premier early season race hosted in the historic Olympic Village of Lake Placid, New York, home of the 1932 and 1980 Winter Olympic Games, surrounded by the beautiful Adirondack Mountains. The marathon is a double loop out and back and begins on Main Street in the charming village of Lake Placid and ends on the 400-meter outdoor speed skating oval track, where U.S. speed skater Eric Heiden won an unprecedented 5 gold medals in 1980. The course is a combination of flat, rolling, and some hills, and runners will enjoy mountain views, open areas, shaded areas, a Class 3 trout stream, and beautiful Mirror Lake along the way. There are 26 well-stocked aid stations for the marathon, and the event offers a generous 6-hour course limit for each race. Next up, we have the Amish Country Running Festival held in Randolph in September. Enjoy this course as it rolls through the largest Old Order Amish community in the United States. The half marathon and marathon give you breathtaking views from vistas that you won't get anywhere else. A challenging hilly course, but one that you'll be so glad you conquered. You'll see working Amish farms, clotheslines full of crisp, clean laundry, the colors of autumn, and be greeted by waving Amish families as you run past their homes. The 10K, 5K, and 1 mile provide you with a pretty run in the country, starting and finishing on a very flat course. Finisher medals, long-sleeve race shirts, fully stocked aid stations at each mile, the STBC beer zone, fire pit, massage therapists on site, and more, believe it or not. Did I mention that this course is hilly? Train for the hills and challenge yourself on one of the most tough yet gorgeous marathon and half marathon races there is. The course is on paved roads the entire way, and there are no cutoff times. Next up, we have the Hamptons Marathon and Half held in Southampton in September. Race along the most beautiful terrain of Long Island's East End at the annual Hamptons Marathon and Half. Travel on foot through Southampton Village with views of the Atlantic Ocean, Shinnecock Bay, and Cooper's Beach. Begin your race through Southampton Estates, run down wooded roads, and enjoy the gorgeous beaches on either side of Meadow Lane. With a fast and flat course, you can set your next PB or join other racers on the quest to earn a BQ time. The fun doesn't stop once you cross the finish line. From the DJ to the awards ceremony, the post-race party is the perfect setting to celebrate your accomplishments. With temperatures in the 70s and free massages for runners, there is no better way to relax in the Hamptons. Next, we have the Wineglass Marathon held in Corning in October. This course is very fast. Wineglass is one of the top spots to qualify for the Boston Marathon, and the early autumn scenery is stunning. These are just a few of the reasons runners love the Wineglass. It's part of the reason why Wineglass has been named one of the top 10 destination races in the world, and why runners voted it the best marathon in New York State in 2018 and 2023. A point-to-point course, the full marathon starts in Bath, New York, traveling onto Cooper's Plains, Painted Post, and finishing on historic Market Street in Corning, New York. Runners will turn right on Bridge, left on Market, where the golden tree-lined street will guide them to the finish line that is in their line of sight. And then there's the Buffalo Marathon held in Buffalo in May. This course is relatively flat and fast with great volunteer support and a scenic view of downtown's waterfront and its major landmarks. The course has been designed for athletes to enjoy views of Lake Erie, First Niagara Center, home of the Buffalo Sabres, Forest Lawn Cemetery, and many other Buffalo highlights. Get ready to experience famous architectural works by Frank Lloyd Wright, the Albright Art Gallery, the only permanent building erected for the Pan American Exposition, the Buffalo Historical Society, the Music Hall, and a system of parks and parkways designed by Frederick Law Olmsted. Marathon participants receive a tech shirt, medal, and post-race party. For those looking for the unique experience offered by a trail race or ultra, we'll start with Mind the Ducks, held in Webster in May. Mind the Ducks has a colorful history that starts with a vivid dream, an urban park, and some feisty waterfowl. The story begins in July of 2009 when ultra runner Shelley Vigiano had an all-too-real dream about a race in a small park favored more by colorful duck-feeding locals and their children than by runners. After some thought, she determined 12 hours to be the magic distance, long enough that one can't phone in a good performance, short enough that locals can sleep in their own bed that night. Enough time for budding marathoners to beat a cutoff, or for beginning ultra runners to make the 50K or 50-mile distance without fear of being lost, lonely, hungry, thirsty, or uncomfortable. Everyone would be together all day. It would be one big running party. From its inception, Mind the Ducks has been by, for, and all about the runner's experience. If each racer didn't have the fastest time, best eats, greatest prizes, and most fun, the race director takes it personally. The idea is to present an event with an over-the-top support that costs less than the average big city marathon. Some things will never change at Mind the Ducks. Great support, low cost, and a party-like atmosphere. And of course it wouldn't be the same without those snappy ducks. After all, you can't have a race with no hardships. Next up, we have 9 Hours for 9 Lives Ultra, held in Shortsville in June. Run or walk as many 1.52-mile loops as you wish in 9 hours to help support our feline friends. This is an active produce farm you'll be running around, so there'll be hills, grass, dirt, mild ruts, some trails through the woods, and maybe even a little mud depending on the weather leading up to the event. You'll often be greeted by the resident golden retrievers and the mini barn cats that are loved by their owners and cared for in the past by colony caregivers, who provides care for feral and colony cats in and around Ontario County. There are handcrafted medals for all and prizes for the top performers. There will be an aid station stocked with the usual fare, and you're encouraged to bring your own aid and a comfy chair to set up along the course. Porta potties are on site. Fish's Farm Market has their greenhouses open, and it'll likely be strawberry season, so plan accordingly. Their berries are the best. Next up is the Pain to Pain Trail Half Marathon, held in New Rochelle in September. This race starts at Thomas Paine Cottage and ends at the New Rochelle High School. Pain to Pain is a giant single loop that winds its way through the woods and trails of 5 different lower Westchester parks. You never run the same trail twice and will spend 90% of your time on dirt and rocks and roots in the shade of the woods. Many of the trails are completely hidden from public view and host a wide variety of wildlife, including deer, fox, coyote, turtles, rabbits, hawks, owls, herons, wild turkeys, and bald eagles, as well as other critters. Register early to guarantee your shirt size and personalized bib. And finally, the Cayuga Trails 50, held in Ithaca in June. Gorges lush with cascades, historic stone staircases, amphitheaters, creek crossings, single and double track. Cayuga has not only brought some of the fastest ultra runners in the country as a prior U.S. Nationals, but also served as countless runners' inaugural 50-mile or 50K achievements. Cayuga Trails offers miles of single track, the passing of dozens of waterfalls as it winds through gorges, signature historic stone stairs, and mixed eastern forests. It's roughly 95% trail, 5% paved, and only a few miles where you'll overlap in outback format with other entrants. Come challenge yourself on what has been described as one of the most beautiful courses in the country. So there you go, the most highly recommended races in the state of New York as suggested by runners just like you. Believe me, I had so many suggestions for the state of New York that this could have been a much longer video. I ended up having to go with the ones that were mentioned the most often and were rated the highest by runners just like you. So there is so much more out there, but this is just a good starting place. But that does it for this episode of Run the USA. Have you run any of these races before or any of these on your bucket list? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below? Also, let me know if you have any suggestions for our next state we're covering, which is North Carolina. Make sure that you drop those in the comments below as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click that button down below. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it keeps you up to date on this series and all the rest of the running content that I have coming out all the time. You can also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thanks so much for being here. I'm so glad you could join me. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. I will see you later.